I'm David Thaler. Welcome to stage 6 of our video series on collective bargaining mediation, Drafting the Agreement. The drafting process is the stage where the role of the mediator most differs from country to country. The guidance in this video will apply to a variety of roles for the mediator found around the world, ranging from no drafting to just legal review to full drafting of the agreement by the mediator. No matter which jurisdiction you're in, the expression, "the devil is in the details," applies, and it's the job of the mediator to assist parties when misunderstandings arise about what was agreed to previously. Indeed, constructing the final agreement is sometimes like building a house of cards. It can easily collapse. This is because sometimes people get nervous when they see the details in writing. Other times, outside counsel, top leadership, or other influential people who have not participated in negotiations can derail an agreement by taking issue with even the smallest aspects of it. Other times, issues from earlier in the negotiation that the parties appear to have forgotten may suddenly reappear at the end. It's very important to remember that, given the principle of self-determination by the parties that we saw in the last video, even if you're in a jurisdiction where it's customary, maybe even legally required for the mediator to draft the agreement, the mediator should still work carefully with the parties to make sure they understand the terms they're agreeing to and that the agreement is reached freely and voluntarily by the parties without undue pressure by the mediator. Separate and apart from the self-determination principle, there are other practical reasons for the mediator to stay out of the drafting process. Namely, the mediator often is unfamiliar with the lingo, practices, and processes of the workplace with the dispute, so it's easy to make mistakes in the drafting process. In addition, if a mediator is the drafter, in some jurisdictions there's a risk of being called as a witness in the event a dispute arises as to the interpretation of that agreement. This puts the mediator's neutrality in jeopardy and should be avoided at all costs. When a problem that arises in drafting becomes particularly thorny, the parties might ask to postpone signing at that moment and instead come back to bargaining at another time. While always respecting the principle of self-determination, a wise mediator will do all they can to strongly encourage the parties not to leave the bargaining table and to get the deal done on that day, or more often on that night. There are simply too many things that can derail an agreement if it is not signed. Finally, at the end of the process, asking what are the most important underlying interests of the parties provides the basis for developing creative solutions to satisfy their needs as much as possible. Momentarily, you'll see Mediator Callahan ask just that question as he guides the parties through a dispute that arises over language as they're drafting their agreement.
Okay, everybody. I know it's been a long day and we're well into the evening. I appreciate your efforts throughout the day today. And I understand we've reached an agreement. So that having been said, what I'd like to do is take this opportunity to go over it, make sure we're all on the same page, and see if we're there. So first issue on the safety committee, there will be a safety committee to address safety concerns from the workers and engage in dialogue about it. We are going to retain the same production quotas, but double the quota bonus. Wages will be a 3% increase with a one-time bonus of $500. Everybody in agreement? That's where we are? Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
That's where we are, but this is very important to the bargaining unit, and we have to be able to get this to vote. It has to pass. In order for us to recommend it, no offense to you all, but we've done this with employers in the past, and we've been burned. They don't meet, they don't, listen to what the union has to say, and they're not serious about it. This has to show that you're doing it in good faith. It can't just be words.
I understand, but don't lump us in with all the other employers. We still need employees to work hard and, reach our quotas and production goals. But, I think we can do an hour or two here or there for the LMC.
Okay, folks, let me just ask a question here of the union. I hear management offering to do the safety committee, and there's some resistance to that, so I'm just trying to drill down on what the interests are behind what they're proposing.
Marty, if we're going to have a safety committee, there need to be regularly scheduled meetings that are known in advance, agendas known in advance, and a time frame that everybody knows. They can't be here and there. They're generally
Okay.
monthly meetings and not for an hour.
Okay.
They're generally an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you go through your agenda and whatever your concerns are.
Okay.
You know, and Joe's right, but also with the discipline, can we add another step in there, like a pre-disciplinary counseling step, instead of just springing it on the employees all of a sudden? I mean, this is a very important issue. Slow it
Okay,
down a bit.
so I think what I'm hearing the union say is you're in agreement with the safety committee, but you want some regularity to it. Okay? And also an additional step in a discipline process,
Exactly.
some pre-counseling step related to the mask wearing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Will that work?
You know, I think we can agree to that. I think we could agree to adding some type of counseling, pre-disciplinary step as it relates to the safety equipment use. And for the committee, I think we could agree to work together jointly and, you know, review employee satisfaction with the equipment. And even as new options come up, we could review those options together and even go shopping jointly. So, yeah, I think we could agree to that. Vanessa, I probably said too much, though. Do you think we can put that in the agreement?
Being very amenable, Liz, more so than I would, but you're the ops manager. I'm going to defer to you. I have a concern about that pre-disciplinary counseling, but I need the rules. You know, I need the safety rules to be adhered to. That's
Absolutely.
important, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so look, if we can do safety committee meetings on a monthly basis and do that pre-counseling disciplinary, before discipline step, will that get an agreement?
Give me a minute to talk to the committee here. That do it? I mean, a
They
monthly
do that.
pre-discipline?
I think we can do that and remind them they'll be getting support from the committee.
All right, so I need everybody
Sounds good.
support it?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we can get that, then the committee will even recommend it.
What do you think, Vanessa? Can that get us a deal?
Is that it?
That's it.
Well, then I guess we have a deal. Can you write it up?
Well, I can't write language. I don't typically write language, but what I can do is work with both parties to help manage the language and work with you to reach a mutually acceptable agreement. Is that okay?
That's fine. We'll have Liz, defer to Liz. You've sat on many committees. You can start drafting language, right?
Yeah, I
Alright.
can do that.
Great, thanks.
Time is money. You know, let's get this done through email, go back to running the business, you know, wrap this up.
Listen, folks, we spent a lot of time today trying to get this agreement done. I think we really need to spend the time sitting here to get the agreement done, get it signed, figure out how we're going to ratify it, and move forward. To go beyond tonight would be a huge mistake, in my opinion, and I really implore you to work throughout the night, whatever we need to do to get this agreement done.
Then, let's
Okay.
do it.
Yeah.
You're going to help
right.
facilitate the Labor Management Committee.
Absolutely. And the other thing I want to add, if this helps, is I will work with the safety committee to help facilitate that committee, train up that committee if necessary, work with you throughout the process.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right? Well, thank you all very much, and congratulations on your agreement.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
I think with your help on the Labor Management Committee, we'll be successful. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.